Going into this last episode of Raw, the only thing on my mind was John Cena's promo explaining the heel turn and the potential back and forth with Cody. Mainly Cody coming up to press John was my thoughts of what were going to happen. During the promo before Cody came out, when it was just John talking to the crowd, I did have very mixed feelings about it. My main gripe was that he seemed very whiny. In real time, I was just like, why is he bitching a lot? I'm thinking he was going to be more menacing, and the him complaining about the treatment that the fans gave him was a little bit odd only because of the timing. I understand throughout the late 2000s and majority of the 2010s the way that fans were split on him and how much hate he received as he kept winning. But I'm thinking to myself, well, why didn't you do this heel turn like a decade ago? I think it would have been super fresh and would have made way more sense if the heel turn had took place then. As some time passed, I've thought more and more about it, and now more on board with the promo. I assume that he did not mention The Rock or Cody because The Rock got in his head some way. I think that is why most of the focus was on the fans. I'm thinking The Rock told him, look, you've been losing a lot. Also, with the timing thing, this is another point about it. In recent years, I'll say since he's been part time, where whenever that happened, 2017, 2018, fans have been way more pro Cena than ever before. There's not really a split crowd that I've seen. I've seen the most positive reception for Cena in my entire life since he's been part time. I assume that The Rock got in his head and say, look, yeah, the fans like you now, but it's only because you're not here that often and because you haven't won a match in God knows how long. Do you think that the fans won't just turn on you again like they did before once you win again? Maybe that's what The Rock planned in Cena's head because I've been seeing a lot of Emperor Palpatine and Bobbity, Majin, and Vegeta comparisons to this, which makes perfect sense. And I think that Cody will press John, or John will just explain that side of why the heel turn happened. To this one, wasn't expecting everything to be laid out for it. That would have took well over 30 minutes, and I know they have a month left to build the Cody and Cena rivalry before the match. So initially I was a bit thrown off. I thought he was just going to have a more fuck it, I'm desperate to win another title. That is why I turned heel. The him being angry at the fans did take me by surprise, but the more I think about it, I can get on board because I think that they will tie up the details much better as more promos go along. Um, let's see. As far as Cody and Cena's interactions, I know they didn't have a back and forth yet, and most people assume that John will do the nice speech to Cody and torch him. With the way this angle is played out, Cody has a lot of firepower to work with. Granted, I don't view Cody in the same light as John on the mic, but he is very dope to me, especially in back and forth where he's very angry or annoyed. Like I like the energy he had for John. Granted, it was relatively short. I assume he's gonna take the angle like, look, I had every opportunity to turn heel as well, and I ain't do that whole ass shit. And he told John, I don't even know who you are. Like you are pathetic. I love that energy, and I need that to carry over. And he also can say, look, John, when The Rock was on my ass all last year, I still didn't fold. I didn't need that bullshit. Then John then could say, "Bitch, I helped you. What are we talking about?" So maybe that will be the thing. I just don't see John annihilating Cody in this particular feud, especially especially at this present time, unless they give even more depth to his heel turn. They need to have more depth to his heel turn because I see people saying maybe they kind of nerfed him so that he won't. just torch Cody on the mic, but they can't go that route because he's gonna have to have more feuds after this. Say when John inevitably go against CM Punk, who I put right next to John. Those are my favorite back and forth mic workers I've ever seen. If there's not more depth to John's character, CM Punk will torch him because they're relatively the same level, but Punk's angles would just hit way harder for me. So, and I don't think that Cody needs to have his hand held. He could hold his own, bro. Niggas was talking Philly to him the last two manias. This John shit, like, no, bro. I'm that nigga. I'm quarterback. He just keeps on carrying on with that. Just cuts an even longer promo. Granted, he had to do two by himself before this John Cena shit, so I'm not even mad that his back and forth with John was shorter than I anticipated. We needed this long ass John interacting with the crowd moment for documentary purposes, especially with the way that crowd was rocking. I understand, and I will tip my hat to the overall performance of it. The only confusing part was when he told John, I'm talking about, when John said that the Let's Go Cena people are worse. What the fuck does that mean, bro? I don't get, I don't really get that angle of how they're the same type of people because they're expecting that. Hey, what do you mean? Is that just like a basic heel trope? I need more clarity on what he meant by that. How we show support, bitch. You are one of the top merch sellers. Like, you've been one of the top merch sellers forever. How was that not supporting you? I hope Cody talks about that dumbass shit because that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I get maybe some fans are expecting stuff, but bro, you gonna act like niggas ain't been cheering for you? Yeah, I know you had a lot of hate, but you also had a lot of love, bro. It was split. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Cut that crying ass shit out. Cody's gonna dive into that. But beyond that small part, I enjoyed most of it. I liked John's conviction, the facial expressions, the nuance of when to look at the crowd, when to make those facial expressions, even just coming to the ring. He did not do his run, didn't do his salute. I love how he talked about why he's not gonna change his song, why he's not gonna change his attire. All that shit was fire, man. So overall, I give that it's well, not tens because I still was a bit thrown off by those two things that I mentioned. Get this get this segment like a 8 out of what I was expecting. I'll probably have to rewatch it again, see if I warm up. I think they both have another gear that they can get to. Maybe their next back and forth will be my favorite because we ain't already got the formalities out the way. I'm just expecting haymaker after haymaker. I also expect The Rock to make an appearance at some point. So whenever that happens, it would probably be the best promo leading up to Mania. Now, for the rest of Monday Night Raw, I was not fucking with this show very much. The very first thing that's on my mind was Jey Uso's rivalry with Gunther. Off the rip, I was already irritated when Jey won the Royal Rumble, like a lot of people online. So this feud didn't have much high expectations. Didn't care to see them for a third time, but I'm just saying, okay, it's about 2 months. Maybe they could cook up something that will excite me. At first, I was a bit excited because of how Gunther said he's going to inflict the most craziest levels of violence that we've seen on Jay till Mania. I ain't really seen that shit, bro. He just doing the little sleeper hole. I'm expecting some blood. You about to put this nigga through announce tables. You about to slam this nigga through a car windshield or something of that sort. Because I'll give him a little pass because I understand from Rumble to Mania is over 2 months. And that is a tall task to keep shit going on a weekly basis without a match. But goddamn, dog, can we get a little bit more creative? The episode where Gunther came out through the crowd like Jay, that shit was hilarious. The Gunther doing the shit with Alpha Academy, that shit was funny. But this Jey Uso and A-Town Down Under is just giving me filler vibes. I don't even see how this ties in to the Gunther and Jay feud. And then we have a fucking squash match between Theory and Jey Uso. I was about to really torch that shit till I seen a report that said Cena's promo went overtime. That's why Jey Uso and Austin Theory got cut. So fine. I guess I'll overlook that a tad because booking wise, that makes no sense. We all know the knock on Jey Uso is his wrestling skills and his ability to put on a great match. Giving this nigga a squash match is malpractice for this lead up. So I'm glad there's a little bit of explanation. I still don't condone under no circumstance can that nigga have a squash match right now. It just makes people more annoyed. Now, beyond just the booking of Jey Uso and Gunther, people on the internet who keep on trying to dunk on Jey Uso's, I guess, critics, it's getting real fucking tired. I see similar arguments damn near every day. Oh, wow, you guys turn on everybody. Bro, the people who've been complaining about Jey Uso online have been slandering Jey Uso online. They've been talking about how terrible that match was last year's Mania. Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso slander is not new, bro. Especially online. And we are fully aware that in real life, yes, he sells a lot of merch. He has a lot of fans. Nobody's arguing against that. People just don't like that shit. I keep on seeing tweets. Wow, the internet community, this shit's not real. You think they about to listen to these random ass Twitter accounts? Nigga, nobody said that they gonna listen to us and take the nigga off Mania. We saying that we don't like this shit and we don't want to see the nigga in the world title match. That is fine. If y'all want to see Jey Uso, that's great. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's confused on why he is in this position. We are saying that this shit is ass and we are not excited to see it. It is that simple. We don't need to have this same dialogue every fucking week. Like, can we add some nuance? At least say, hey, what's going to happen after he wins the title? Because I assume he's going to win the title anyways. What's going to happen then? People are just saying, short reign, long reign. Let's shift the conversation to that. If you support Jey Uso, we get it. But can people stop trying to dunk on the Jey Uso critics? It's getting tired and there's not much new information being added. Now, the Botch thing, of course niggas are going to flame it. Niggas already don't want him in the position of the world title match. Of course, when you have a botch after a fucking squash match in which the spear looks like a crossbody, people are going to point out the fucking botch. People was flaming Top Dollar. People flame Jade Cargill. People flame botches all the fucking time. And yes, when your knock is that you are one of the worst wrestlers in the main event picture, and you have a match which is one move, which is damn near a botch, and then a outer ring dive, which is a clear botch, niggas are gonna flame you, bro. Nobody is questioning his mic skills, his character work, his charisma, his connection with fans. We are simply criticizing this nigga's in-ring work. And when you only do two moves for this week and they both look sloppy as fuck, niggas are going to rightfully flame the nigga over it. Nobody is I don't think niggas are just turned on Jay. I think the people who've been criticizing them online have been doing it for months and months and months. That is it. But enough of that shit, dog. What else happened on Raw? We had the Alpha Academy segments where Gable, he got chased out by the LWO during Dakota Kai and Ivy Niles match. I'm hella irritated that these niggas stay losing in Alpha Academy. Creed Brothers, Ivy, and Chad. Dope that they get TV time on a consistent basis. They all can hoop, and I find them all funny. But just a pack of losers, dog. I need some type of payout by Mania. Give them something, dude. Let me see. What was next? We have the Rhea Ripley, Bianca, and Io segment. We already knew that Rhea was going to interrupt the contract signing, which was a given. I understand. The whole Rhea Ripley standing tall over both of them, treating Io like little sis getting mushed and shit and power bombed on top of Bianca, and Rhea taking the contract and basically adding herself to it. Then backstage, you have the three of them brawl and Rhea standing tall again. The people who are criticizing Rhea's character is just how she is booked, and it's just very boring. I salute WWE for taking the title off for New Deal because that was a big surprise. But bro, the same critique is going to reappear if we keep going this route. You're just gonna add yourself to the match. What's stopping Liv Morgan from adding herself? She never got a rematch in either. Can she just add herself to the fucking match, bro? It's just this picking and choosing of when the rematch clause is valid. And so you're just interrupting shit, and now you get fucking match. It's not even like you got cheated in the fucking title match. You lost clean. You got distracted based off of your own actions, bro. And we have to see this shit now. Even though she's not the champion, people are still gonna call her Rhea Hogan, and I'm going to understand why that sentiment exists. I guess just 1 week after last week, Io stood tall. This week, Rhea stood tall, even though she's not in the fucking match. Fine, whatever. Next week, even the shut out and have Bianca stand tall, bro. That would justify and that will calm people down because the Rhea shit is getting annoying, especially because after the title loss that she had a backstage segment where she seemed way more vulnerable and seemed like her character was going to develop some more. And lo and behold, it's the same shit, the whining, complaining stuff, in which people are bringing up the Charlotte Flair segment when she says that Rhea is still a child. Hits hard. I think that would be the angle that Io and Bianca start to use to criticize her character and make Rhea the heel of this triple threat. Let me see. Can we wrap up this Judgment Day shit, dog? After Damian and Rhea left the group and we replaced them with Raquel and Liv fully on board, but then JD getting hurt, and now there being really no direction for a lot of these members. Like, it's just Carlito. Carlito's not gonna wrestle for it. He's just a comedy character. They haven't added a new member, so there's doing friction between Finn and Dom. When they inevitably have their match, the entire group just needs to be disbanded. It's gone on very long. It lasted way longer than anybody anticipated. And it was dope, but I don't see this shit lasting. I'm trying to think of who they could add. Maybe what Karrion Kross, he's not in the stable. Dom brought up Penta, but I don't think that would revive the glory of the stable. It's just nothing to sink our teeth into. The only people I care about on the fucking team is Dom and Liv. I don't think that's enough.